Anyways, it's your boy Triple Black, aka the number one stunner, aka the boss, aka Think and Grow Rich, Power of Broke, and Rich Dad Poor Dad. Knowledge, bitch. You already know what it is, man. We taking babies and we taking back the block, man. Hey, it's all about empowerment, man. Anyways, man, we got a great show, man. We got Fed from Naples Investment Properties LLC, man. We ready to talk about some real estate investment, man. We dropping gems right now, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no patience for the broke and ignorance, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if you don't want to learn something, man, get your ass out of here, man. Hey, get your ass out of here, man. If you want to stay in a perpetual state of broke and just starving, you know what I'm saying? If we can see your ribs, get out of here, man. Anyways, man, holla at your boy, Triple Black, man. Hey, we got a great show coming, man. Anyways, man, hey, I had to flex a little bit, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, I love learning. Man. Anyways, man, great real estate show, man, coming on, man. Holla at your boy. Hey.
Done your son, the next is done. Sharpo Jr. I can go on for days.
Have you ever asked yourself, what if something happens to me? How is my family protected? Will I be able to retire one day? Am I covered? Are my taxes filed correctly? These are all important questions that need to be answered. Visit the experts at CJ Noel Insurance Services for all your financial and insurance needs. Internationally known for their excellence, CJ Noel Insurance has proudly served the Naples area for over 20 years and is the #1 Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance provider in the Southwest Florida area. Conveniently located in Naples at 2800 Davis Boulevard, Suite 208. Stop by or call 239-403-8391 for an appointment or a quote.
You are now listening to the No Cupcake Zone podcast, where there ain't nothing sweet. Hosted by your boy, Triple Black. Now back to our show.
Hey, man. Welcome to No Cupcake Zone, man. We got Fedner on the line, man. Welcome to the show, man. Introduce yourself, man.
Yes, I'm Fedner Alzume with Naples Investment Properties.
Yeah, man. Hey, loosen up, man. I'm gonna give you a round of applause, man. Yep. You ain't gotta sound like you talking to an investor or something like that, man. This is No Cupcake Zone, man. Calm down, man.
All right. I'll keep the hood here.
Hey, man. Hey, I had to get Fedner on the show, man. I'm really, really proud of what you're doing, man. I really appreciate what you're doing, because somebody that's very young that come from where we come from is looking at you, and you know they might take the right path because of that. Man, talk about growing up in Naples, Florida, man.
Oh wow! Well, Naples is, as you know, Naples is a somewhat diverse but still segregated in ways. You know,
Yeah.
The childhood wasn't that bad growing up in River Park. You know, everybody knew each other, you know, going to the park. So I can't complain about my childhood or anything like that. It wasn't that bad. You know, I had my ups and downs, but hey, who doesn't?
Right. So you took the same exact path that I took, middle school. Hey, Gulfview Middle. Which elementary school did you go to?
Oh, Lake Park Panthers.
Okay, yeah. I went to Lake Park for a little bit, but I was mostly Shadowlawn. What you remember the most about growing up in River Park?
Watching those summer league basketball games under the pavilion.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember those back in the days.
Oh yeah, Chunky
That,
Sunday, man.
um,
That's when you was a kid, man. You lived and died for that day. You know, get your fresh outfit. You know, knowing everybody's gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? It was all love, man. I miss that too, man. That was beautiful, man.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Also playing for Greater Naples Little League. That was great. You know, I had some fun times out there. I
Yeah.
can't be a part. You know, so yeah, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, man. Man, I'll never forget, man. And I want to say thank you, man. I remember my mother passed away, man, and I put up a GoFundMe because, you know, things were a little hard. And Fedner, you know, like I had a bunch of friends, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of people that know my mama, you know what I'm saying, I put that up. Fedner didn't even have to, man. He donated $200, man, to her funeral. Man, thank you, dog. I'll never forget that shit.
Oh yeah, no pressure, you know.
Yeah,
We
man.
also will thank you because, you know.
Yeah. Hey, man. One of the reasons I got you on the show, man, because I was re-listening to the audiobook. Actually, I read snippets of the book. What do you call it? Damon John. I can't believe I'm having a brain fart right now. The Power of Broke. I just got it on audiobook. And, you know, Damon John is a pretty significant celebrity. He's on Shark Tank. And I went to a book signing, right? And there was just a handful of black people there. And Fedner happened to be one. And I was thinking to myself, why? You know what I'm saying? You have a celebrity that's going to be dropping some jewels in Fort Myers. How come, like, the whole community didn't come out? And I just remembered that.
Well,
it just stuck with me.
Well, maybe there wasn't really, maybe they didn't know about the book signing, but sometimes if people hear book signing and don't see the tangible rewards that could come from an event like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they might look at the intangible things and they think it's a waste of time or whatever, but it was actually a pretty enjoyable event.
Yeah.
I remember it was pretty good. I saw you out there, John. You know, John, you stay on every scene, man. You'll catch Johnson at a book signing, and then the next week you catch him at Lonnie Kai.
Hey, man. I got to stay connected. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Well, talk about your trials and tribulations, man, because, like, I'm proud of you, man, because you had, you know, you were riding a high coming out of high school, you know, scholarship, ready to go to college, and you hit a pretty, you know, big low, man. Talk about that process of bouncing back and not becoming a statistic.
Well, you always got to stay rooted in yourself and know that, you know, no matter like what trials and tribulations you might go through, that you have a greater purpose in life, or you just strive to do better for not only yourself but your family and those around you. And you always adapt and you never adopt when you go through a bad situation like that. Especially when I was incarcerated or whatnot, you always want to look at the brighter side of things. And I know this might sound cliche or whatever, but you always want to look at the silver lining in the dark clouds, you know? But yeah, I've hit some pretty low moments, but you know, to bounce back, you also got to be sort of arrogant, also, you know, because you got to be somewhat okay. If I can't do it, then it can't be done, you know.
Right. There had to have been a couple things that was in your mind that kept you going? You know, it had to have been a family member or someone that, because you know what's facing that time, you know, things can get hopeless, and you know what I'm saying, it's just a downward spiral, man. What kept you up? What was that one inspirational words of wisdom or thing that kept you going?
Well, I always think of my life since I was a kid as in chapters of a book. And while I was going through my rough moments, I've always thought that I don't want the last chapter of my book to be written like this, the end like this, you know? Because everybody has, you write your own story in life. And I just didn't want my chapter to end like this. And I still feel I still got a lot more of my story to tell and lots more stuff to go through as yourself and everybody else, because we're still all relatively young. But I had friends and family who used to keep me grounded too. You know, my best friend, Rody Isme, he used to always give me books and always give me words of wisdom and whatnot. And my mother, and I also had other friends that kept me rooted. So I was fortunate.
Yeah, yeah, man. Hey, talk about your business ventures, man. And when do you get the entrepreneurial bug?
Oh, wow. I've always felt I've had the entrepreneurial bug. But I've actually, from auto detailing, that was one of my first companies, Naples Auto Detailing, to part ownership in Escape Lounge, and now the real estate holding company that I have now. I've always had it because I consider myself a hustler, you know, and I always had that hustler mentality. And I'm also considered a serial entrepreneur because 2 years from now, I'll probably be doing something else, you know, to add on to what I'm doing now. I've always liked to stay well vested and well read on growing trends and topics and seeing if I could fix a problem, because that's the number one rule in entrepreneurship, is trying to fix a problem. And if you can fix a problem, you can be pretty successful out here.
Right. You talked about, you know, writing the chapter of, you know, of your life and stuff like that. Do you think the experience of, you know, of that time that you did helped you to become, you know, fearless in new ventures and stuff like that? Because it's like in the Power of Broke, when you're at the bottom, like you ain't got nothing, no choice but to succeed. Do you think that it helped you a little bit?
Oh yes, I got my best education from in there. I think the education I got is priceless. You know, 'cause I got real life learnings, and you're around so many different people that you learn psychology. And I basically graduated from a school of hard knocks. Right. You know, and it's going to teach you lessons that you'll never forget. And I'm not going to say I'm grateful, but I felt like I took on what they gave me, and I made something happen out of it. And it makes you, it desensitizes you to stuff, you know? So when people might say they're going through an issue and they're freaking out, and I can stay calm in the midst of that storm because I know what real issues are. You know, 18 going against 2 life sentences, you know, if you're talking about minor issues out here, and I have people in there who currently serving life sentences. So what's pressure to most people, I don't really consider pressure.
Right. Nah,
so that way.
Yeah, that perspective is very valid, because you think about it, man. You were facing almost the end of the road, and you know what? Hey, losing money, losing businesses, and you know, being broke really doesn't scare you, because you know you see.
Nah, because money can always be recovered. You know, you could lose money. You could always get that back if you have the right mind state. Time is something different. You don't get that back.
No.
You don't get time back. So I've always had that mind state. As long as I got air in my lungs, I ain't dead yet. Let's get it.
Yeah. Man, let's talk about real estate, man. Real estate, man. Talk about how did you get into real estate, and walk us through your first deal.
Okay, yeah, you always remember your first deal because that's like your child.
Right.
How I got into real estate? Well, me and my cousin, he heard about a seminar, and we went to a seminar. It was a 2-day seminar. It didn't really teach us much, but after the seminar, they basically hit on the parameters of real estate. But then after the 2-day seminar, they're like, if you really want to get into real estate, here's pay us $14,000 and we'll teach you everything. And I'm like, wow, $14,000 just to learn. You know, I'm like, I'm not doing that. This was 2013. This is the information age. Whatever you guys are teaching, I could Google it and get a book off Amazon and teach myself. And that's basically the gist of how I got into real estate. Well, my first deal was actually in Golden Gate City. I put a sign up and somebody called and said they wanted to sell their house. It was an elderly couple. Well, this elderly couple was actually letting their daughter live in the house. They had their own house. They were retired. And the daughter just left in the middle of the night, left all her stuff, and just left everything in the house. And they didn't want to have the burden of the mortgage payments on them. So they came to me and said, would I mind purchasing the property for them? And I said, you can name the price, but it has to be on my terms, because that's the most important thing you want in any negotiation, your price, my terms. And they gave me the price, and I basically did a subject to financing on their property, meaning that I just took over their mortgage. And I basically took over their mortgage, and they sold me the house for $98,000. Now, I didn't write them a check for $98,000. I just made their mortgage payments, took a loan out from a family member, fixed the property up, and sold it for $180,000. So you do the math on what I made on the property. It was a high I grossed like 78 after real estate coming out. I grossed about 78,000 on my first deal, and I really didn't know what the hell I was doing.
That first deal, is there any going back to flipping burgers or working for somebody?
Nah, because you sort of like getting that mailbox money. Nothing like that mailbox money when it just comes in the mailbox. No, that definitely changes your perspective on things.
Right. So how hungry were you after that first deal?
After the first one,
yeah,
I was at it. And after the first one, I got cocky.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when you make that much money in your first deal, you feel like you're basically the Donald Trump of real estate now. You know, you feel like you're untouchable. And then I rushed into another deal, which wasn't really the best deal. And you know, I took a little bit of a bath on that one, but you learn more from your losses than you ever do from a victory. But I'm still hungry. I don't never lose the hunger.
I was gonna ask you, that was my next question, man. What was your worst move?
Oh, my worst move. My worst move was obtaining a property in Cape Coral. I was real confident, and I purchased the property, and without really being too knowledgeable of the area, and I came in too high. On the property, and we basically took a loss on it. I took a loss on that property right there. That just comes from not really knowing your area, and I hired a realtor who wasn't from that area also, even though she's the best realtor in the world. but I think it was just too much on our hands. So that was probably my worst deal right there, the Cape Coral deal.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna ask you this question because when I was in my MBA class, I
Mhm.
I should have invented like was it Tinder? You know that app. I did a project. Basically, it was Tinder. You know, this is 10 years ago. I was way ahead of my time. That was one of my biggest regrets. I didn't move forward. Talk about that moment, that big regret moment. That it could be that property, man. If I would jumped on this, man, I could have made out. Talk about a time where you just made a big regret, a big investment that you didn't make that you should have made it.
Oh, there was a property. It was also in Golden Gate City. They wanted 70,000 for the property, 70,000, and I wasn't really too knowledgeable. They had a garage that they converted into a fourth room, and I wasn't really too knowledgeable on doing that. And instead of me going to go talk to a subcontractor, I just let the deal go by. Like, I'm not gonna mess with it. It's too much of a headache. Well, a friend of mine, he purchased the property. He's an attorney in town. He purchased the property, and basically he told me to convert the garage back into a room was as simple as adding a window and a vent, something that cost $300-400. Well, he got the price for 70,000, and he sold it for 195. So he had basically a gross profit of about 120,000.
Wow!
And that's the one I missed. Yeah. Being scary.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? With Donald Trump in the office, I'm not going to talk about politics, but people think that we're headed for some type of crash in the future, man. Whenever there's a crash, whenever there's blood in the water, there's opportunities for sharks. Talk about some potential opportunities that are coming up in the future.
There's a few opportunities that's coming up. Basically in the housing market, especially I see a trend in Collier County because housing is not sustainable. The market's not sustainable, and there's no affordable housing here.
Right.
So people like myself, I'm actually waiting for the crash because you have a lot of people. Yeah, you have a lot of people that's jumping into real estate. That's like they tell you a market indicator about real estate is when your barber gives you real estate advice, then you know the crash is coming. Right. A growing trend I'll see in Collier County is multifamily housing. You'll make a killing multifamily housing in this county. Duplexes, triplexes, whatever. If you could find that diamond in the rough, you could charge whatever. Rents are going in Collier County $1,300, $1,400 easy.
Yeah.
This is a gold mine.
No, because one of the problems in Collier County is you don't really have the housing infrastructure to really facilitate the city, because we're a heavily service industry over in Naples.
Yes.
And most people that work in the service industry are not high income earners. So, you can't really have housing that's sucking up 30%, 40% of people's earnings. So, you can't really have a workforce with this type of housing. So something needs to happen. And you are right. Multi-family homes is going to be a big solution to fix a lot of the problem, because if you're making $15 an hour, you cannot afford a mortgage on a $300,000 house. It's just not going to happen.
And I also see them pushing growth more towards eastern Carter County.
Yeah.
So, I try not to speculate because you can take a haircut, you can take a loss speculating.
Right.
But I see a growing trend going to Easter Collier,
Right.
and anybody that owns land there, I'll tell them to hold it.
Right.
Because that's where the growth's gonna go. But also, they had a county commissioners meeting on affordable housing, and people are always thinking that when they say affordable housing, they're meaning low income housing. That's why they had the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
No, affordable housing is they're trying to find housing for the workforce, the police officers, the nurses, the teachers. Right. Because if you can't find housing for, like you were saying, the service industry, then the community dies.
Right.
But it seems like they're trying to get rid of the middle class in this country, but also in this community. Sometimes I think.
Right. Yeah, people's visions are so short-sighted because they don't really realize how economies work. Like for instance, if you're a store owner in a community, right, and the housing is way overpriced, that means people are going to spend less with you because they're paying more for housing. And think about it. If they're paying more for housing, and they're using 40% of your income for housing, money doesn't circulate, because what does the people that they're paying to house do with it? They buy other houses. When people have more money to spend on other things, that money circulates. So that grows the economy. So, people are so short-sighted. But you said Eastern Lee County, Eastern Collier County?
Yeah, Eastern Collier.
Yeah. Yeah, I live in...
Especially on the other...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I said I live in Fort Myers, and you can tell me from way off base. This conspiracy theorist that's in me. And there's a thing called gentrification, and if you don't know the term,
I know exactly where you're getting to. Yeah.
If you don't know the term, look it up, audience. But anyways, I studied public administration, and I know that planning boards, they have to do forecasting. So a lot of their projections are like 5 years, 10 years down the road, right? Whenever you see certain things, like what's happening in Dunbar, you got the media, saying Dunbar, dangerous. Now you have the RICO. Now you have high valorium taxes. You have, high property taxes in general. You have plans to build a downtown district. You got plans to close down certain roads. That's gentrification. People don't realize that in about 10 years, Fort Myers is going to be just like Coral Gables, Detroit, and all those type of cities. Am I off base?
I would say somewhat. No, you hit the nail on the head, because I could see that. Sometimes they call it blockbusting also.
Right.
They're trying to move everything, because I have property in Lee County also. They're trying to move everything out the city and more into the rural areas, especially minorities. It seems like they're trying to clean it up, just like they were doing in Miami a little bit.
Yeah.
We're trying to move everybody out of the Overtown area. So Carroll City area. They're trying to quote unquote clean it up.
Right.
It happens. I look at it two different ways. Like I say, the entrepreneur is going to try to look at a problem and see if they can solve the problem. Now, you can either look at am I going to stop it? Can it be stopped?
Right.
or am I going to look at it and see as an opportunity? You know, if you look at it as an opportunity, you can say that, well, they're moving everybody out east.
Mm-hmm.
If they're moving everybody out east, then maybe I should be more focused on this area right here. That's how I look at the situation. Other people might look at it and complain and, oh, they're doing this, they're going to do it anyway, you know?
Right.
That's how I would look at it. It's just, I look at it through the lens of an entrepreneur.
Oh, absolutely. That's the same way I'm looking at it. It's kind of befuddles me because you still actually have open lots around the Dunbar community that is dirt cheap because they're building a district around downtown. So this means these properties are going to go through the roof in like 5 or 10 years because they ain't going to have no choice.
Well, also, like I said, that's getting to speculate. Like we would hope in 5 or 10 years that these properties go through the roof, but you know, all type of stuff can happen. You know, if we go through economic downturn,
right?
Then, this is what gets people in trouble. This is how you get caught with your hand in a cookie jar. This is what happened in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
People were speculating that home price will continue to rise, and that's not the case. And you still see half-built buildings now from people speculating. If you drive in Naples, if you drive down 951, the property right next to that Walmart supermarket, it's a skeleton building.
Mm-hmm.
It started during when the market was hot. The market got cold, and you got caught with your hands in your pants and lost financing, lost funding.
Yeah.
But
if you were on the other side,
it's a good bet.
If you were on the other side, hey, you sitting pretty right now.
Yeah, you're sitting pretty nice. So like you're saying, the area around Dunbar, yeah, it would be you could take a nice bet on that, and it more probable than not, I could see property values increasing in that area. But I like to stay. I like yields, and I like cash on cash returns. That's why I love rental property. Mm-hmm. Rental properties, if the market's bad, if the market's good, somebody needs a place to stay.
Well,
and rents seldomly go down. You know, you rarely see rent going down. They always go up.
Right.
That's better than the stock market.
You got to work all angles, man. Passive income strategy, that's very lucrative too. Let's talk about financing. One of the terms in real estate that I hear a lot about, and you can clarify what it means, is hard money. Tell us the difference between hard money and traditional lending.
All right. The difference between hard money and conventional financing is, you gotta be smart when you use hard money. Hard money gets you financing when a typical bank won't lend it. Credit scores could be a little bit lower, but the interest rate's going to be higher. They don't need as much of a paper trail as a conventional bank would need. You get a hard money loan with just a tax return, or if the deal is right, you get a hard money loan just by them looking at the deal, and you just put down a deposit. Sometimes you might not even need to put down a deposit. The trade-off with hard money and conventional financing is the interest rate, I believe. I think right now the interest rate on a 30-year note is at like 4 to 4.3, 4.5% with conventional financing. I think it's around that area. You might know more about that than me.
Yeah, I do.
But like I say, conventional financing is going to take you a while to close. It's going to take you about, 60 to 90 days to close on a conventional loan, and they're going to ask for a lot more. They're going to ask for your debt-to-income ratio to be under a certain percentage. They're going to ask for your cash reserves to be at least 6 months. They're going to also ask for at least 2 years of tax returns, especially if you're a small business owner. So conventional financing is good in certain areas. If you qualify for conventional financing, it's great, especially if you're going to use your home as a homestead. But for investing purposes, it gets in the way sometimes. I've used conventional financing when I'm refinancing out of a hard money loan.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you want me to break that down in more layman's terms or.
Nah, that's you gave us some game, man. Hey, far as financing, besides hard money and traditional, conventional, give us some game. What about some other methods we don't know about?
Okay, you get right up my alley. I love creative financing. I love this type of stuff because this is what a deal maker. If you're a deal maker, maximize your dollars in real estate or any negotiation. You're going to think about creative financing. One creative financing tool I like to use is owner financing, meaning that if somebody's selling a house, you cut the banks out and you go to the owner of the house and you basically give them you say you'll give them a down payment and you'll make payments. And you set an interest rate that they're agreeable on, and you write up a note. We'll talk to an attorney. I know a couple good attorneys, and they write up the paperwork, write up the note, write up the mortgage, and you'll get in without the headaches of going through the banks. That's one way owner financing. Another form of financing is something called a subject to financing. Subject to financing is basically they don't do it through the banks anymore, assuming mortgages, especially after Chuck Dodd. But the Dodd-Frank Act. I said Chuck Dodd. The Dodd-Frank Act. Yeah, Chuck Dodd is the old White House chief of staff, I believe, or White House spokesman. Subject to financing is basically you're taking over their mortgage. And if they were paying $900 a month on a mortgage, you basically just take over their payments. You have an attorney write up the contract, or you write up the contract yourself, which I wouldn't recommend. But and you just take over the finance. That's the way you could get in with no money. But when you hear people talking about real estate purchasing deals with no money, that's what they're talking about, subject to financing.
Yeah.
Where you just bought a house without putting down any money.
Right. Hey, the whole real estate game, if you go on YouTube, you go on Facebook, you got these big time moguls, you got all this, all the pretty stuff, the Lamborghinis, Mercedes-Benz, everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you can be a real estate millionaire, flip this house, do this and whatever, man.
Yeah.
Talk about some myths. You know what I'm saying? About real estate.
Man, those what kills me would be those home and gardening shows, Flip This House. Like, man, get out of here. One of the biggest myths is you're gonna be sitting on the beach while your money just coming in. Or Flip This House and they make it seem that just snap of a finger and everything's going to be done. Real estate is just as simple as buying a house, paying somebody to fix it up, and putting it back on the market, and it's sold in a month. That doesn't happen. Every property I've ever came across, there's always been some kind of screw-up or issue, One issue that a lot of people aren't aware of is after you fix the house, how long is it going to take for you to sell it? Because I've had properties where I've sold it in 30 days and made out nicely, and I've had properties where I've hired a realtor and it sat on the market for 9 months and took a loss. So real estate ain't, join real estate, we're going to become a mogul, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Don't get me wrong, it's very profitable. Real estate is very profitable if you know what you're doing and you hit the market right. Because I've seen it change lives. But also, if you don't know what you're doing, the sharks gonna swim in the water, and the sharks smell blood. And other people gonna see that you knew, and other people might see that you might not be knowing what you're doing, and they're gonna take advantage of the situation, either by paying more for subcontracting work or bidding on a property. And you might have somebody who owns a property, and he's also a real estate investor, a wholesaler, and he'll have his friend bidding on the property with you, just so you could overbid on the property and pay more, and he had no intentions of purchasing the property. That I've seen that happen before. Yeah. So
I'm gonna ask
there's
you.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish it.
No, go ahead.
Now I'm gonna ask you this question, man. If you know how hindsight is 2020, if I told you now that you could have paid for some game before you got in this game, what would be the one thing that you would have paid to know about before you got into the real estate game?
Subcontracting. If I could pay and know more about subcontracting and pricing and where to find good help, that right there, because that's where a lot of your capital goes to, especially when you do the flipping side. Some people, like the people that I know a guy that knows how to do this, you're gonna lose a lot of money. So if I could go back and pay, I would learn more about subcontracting, estimating repairs. That goes a long way. Estimating repairs and estimating material. Cause I've lost a lot of money doing that.
Yeah.
Overpaying. Yeah, I've lost a lot of money overpaying.
Hey, let's talk about credit. You know, everybody and their mama, you know, including, you know, the towel man at the bathroom knows how to fix your credit, man. And you know, getting real estate, fixing your credit and having credit is essential, man. Talk about credit, man, and dispel some of the myths that we're hearing about with these fly by night.
Well, okay.
schemes.
One myth. Okay, credit is good. You need credit, but in real estate, especially when it comes to flipping houses, it's not really the end all be all. Because if you find the right deal and there's enough money for everybody to make, they could care less about your credit score. That's in flipping houses. Now, if you want to get more in conventional financing and stuff like that, yeah, you're going to need a decent credit score. But a lot of people think that they need a perfect credit score to get certain loans and whatnot, which isn't true. Now, I know in your area, you're going to need that perfect credit score or higher because the banks, they're just now starting to lend, or I don't know, or those markets are thawing out. But certain mortgage lenders, they'll tell you you get you qualify for FHA with like, what, a 640 now, 620, I believe?
Yeah, 620.
Am I right or am I wrong?
Middle
yeah,
score.
620 with an FHA. Yeah, medium score. So, but building credit is always good because you'll save. Now, the better the credit, the more money you make, because the lower the interest rate you have to pay, and the less points. Building credit is something that's I'll always recommend fixing your credit, and it's not that hard. You'll be surprised how easy it is to fix your credit if you could talk to the right people. I'm not really too knowledgeable on fixing the credit. I can tell you what's good on your credit score and what's not good, because in real estate, there's good credit and bad credit, and good debt and bad debt, excuse me. You always want to take on good debt, and you want to avoid bad debt. Good debt could get you to where you want to be, more towards financial independence. Bad debt could get you in a hole that you might not be able to dig yourself out of.
Yeah. Now, has there ever been a moment in this, real estate endeavor where you almost hung it up, but didn't?
Oh yeah, all the time. When you're dealing with a tenant, when a tenant calls you, when a tenant calls you on Christmas Eve, a tenant calls you on Christmas Eve because their toilet's clogged up, or you might feel like giving it up or whatever, or when you're up against that deadline with a hard money lender and you have a balloon payment and your house and you haven't had not one bite on a property that you're selling, you might want to give it up. Like I said, you gotta have a still stomach in real estate. You have to be real still. It's not for the weak.
Yep.
Because a lot of people have lost a lot of money in real estate. So there's been a few times, but but when you go to closing and that wire drops in your account, it makes it all worthwhile.
Absolutely, man. Talk about you do taxes also, right?
I used to. I stayed up out of it because it started not. It wasn't as lucrative as other things for me. But I've done taxes. I'm knowledgeable on some of the tax things, but I haven't officially done taxes in a while.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna bust a couple shots
I
at
used to.
the tax preparers and the ratchets that get the big tax checks.
Oh yeah.
Stop spending money on your weave. Stop buying Jordans. But anyways, man, give us some game, man.
No, stop buying the J's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us some game, man. What shit? If I'm like that full kid hood rat that's never had nothing and getting that $10,000 check, man, what should I be doing with it?
Ooh, a $10,000 check. What you should do with it?
What should I be doing with it?
I would say invest it if you know how to invest. Because I see people who give bad advice and tell people, invest your money, but they're not telling them how to invest. So if you're not telling somebody how to invest, and you just tell them to invest it, you might as well tell them to take a ladder to their money. Right. You know? If I had $10,000 from a refund check, I would put 9,500 of it up. And I'll take 500 and go buy some books or some DVDs on investing and learn as much as I can. Because financial intelligence is the number one key to building wealth. And I could tell you to invest in this, invest in that. You should know a broker doesn't get paid on if your stock makes money. A broker gets paid off commissions, and they're salesmen. They're selling you a stock. So tell somebody just invest in this. Go invest in the stock market. Okay, what stocks are they investing in? What's their price-earning ratio? What's the average yield on this stock? If they don't know, then they just end up losing their money. So I'm not going to tell you go invest your money. I'm going to tell you go invest in yourself. Go invest in your own financial intelligence. That's the number one thing. It's foolish to tell somebody just to go invest. Oh, just go invest money in this and that, and they end up losing their money. And then they're looking at you like, point an example, 2008, when everybody was losing their money in their 401ks. They're trusting these hedge fund managers to put their money and give them a significant yield, and they don't know what their money's invested in. Most people don't know what stock their money's invested in. And if they was just to learn a little bit more about how money works, then they would be more knowledgeable on where their money's going and what it's spending, and they can invest the money themselves. So that would be my number one goal. And stay away from the J's. I ain't gonna lie, man. You know I'm a sucker for J's, man. That's my vibe. You said that sort of hit a nerve.
Hey,
that
man.
Sort of hit a nerve.
Yeah. Speaking of education and books, man, Name 3 books that were essential, to your development as an entrepreneur.
3 books that are essential, vital information. Obviously, I'm gonna say the Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Everybody, if you ever read it, you need to read it. Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Matter of fact, anything written by Robert Kiyosaki. And Has a Man Thinketh. It's not a business book, but it's a book about self. So those are 3 books that I would say are very vital for me. But I try to read a book once every 30 days. Because you want to you want to exercise the brain muscles, and that's how you stay on top of the game.
Yeah. Name 3 idols that you have. It can be business, personal, or whatever.
I hate to use the word idol, but people that I would say are very I'll look up to.
Yeah.
One person I would say would be Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the Rich Dad Poor Dad books. Also,
Trump supporter. Trump supporter.
He's a Democrat. I'm not gonna say he's a Trump supporter through real estate dealing and stuff. So they've done deals together. But anyway, that's another story. Jay-Z. Yeah, definitely Jay-Z. And a third person, I would say Craig Timmons. He's not famous. He's in Naples. He owns IPC in Naples. He's a mentor of mine, and I've known him since I was 8 years old. Him right there. But those 3, yeah.
Okay, but name one more celebrity, because you'll understand what I asked you. One more celebrity.
Oh, one more celebrity. I'm gonna say Timmy Tebow, man.
Tim Tebow.
I gotta stick that one in there.
All right, we're gonna play this
Yeah,
game,
most definitely.
and it's called Save, Kill, and Drown. You gotta save one person.
Kill, and drown.
You gotta kill one person. The other person you're gonna drown. Now we got Tim Tebow, Jay-Z, and Robert Kiyosaki. Who are you saving?
All right.
Who are you killing? And who are you drowning?
Damn, boy. All right. All right. Timmy gonna have to drown, because I felt like after his junior year, if he would have just left, we would have had Cam Newton, and we probably would have had 2 more championships.
Okay.
So yeah, we would have 2 more rings. We would have 2 more national championships with Cam. I gotta save Jay. Cause I like his tracks, like his music. And Kiyosaki, his books are already written, so he can live on through his books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you kill him.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
Hey man, dog, I love this conversation, man. But I'm gonna have to hit you a couple times, man. Your Gators, dog. We're gonna talk a little bit of sports, man. You know what I'm saying? How dare you guys think that you guys were going to, be anything but like the redheaded stepchild of the SEC? How dare you think that you guys are going to do anything?
How we have more first round draft picks in the entire SEC than any school. More SEC championships than any school in the SEC. How are we redheaded stepchild? I feel like we're SEC royalty.
No, the SEC East championships, not SEC championships. SEC East championships.
No, well, Alabama just passed us on the SEC East championship. I think they got 1 more than us. But we're getting back. I think the guy that we got there, who's captaining the ship, he got us in the right direction. We'll be back, especially this year. Team Felipe Franks.
Hey man, what's up with Felipe Franks, man? I thought he was supposed to be the next coming. The next.
He is. He's gonna start this year.
He's gonna start.
Yeah, well, he threw on the red shirt last year, and then he's starting this year. And we finally got that Florida speed back on offense. So it's going back to the fun and gun.
Okay, because I thought you guys were in the running to get Malik. Was it Zaire?
Zaire? Yeah, he can stay where he's at. We don't need him. I'm Team Felipe.
You
He
think
can stay
so?
where he at. We need to get the young guys ready. Yeah, we need to get the young guys ready.
So you think this is the year that you guys step on the neck of LSU and step on the neck of Alabama?
Yeah, Coach McElwain said he went to a basketball game and he gave a speech at halftime, and he said we're not knocking on the door no more. Meaning the SEC championship game, we're kicking it in.
Yeah.
So he basically said we win the whole SEC this year.
Well, we'll have to see, man. Florida State, man. What do you guys think? How you guys match up with them next year?
Oh, we beat them this year.
You think so?
It's already written. Yeah, if we had a quarterback, we beat them. We had 9 starters out when we played them last year. 9 starters. Yeah, we played with nothing but second and third stringers, and the game was relatively close up until the third quarter. Up to the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Well, you guys made a big mistake last year. Why did you guys run off Trayon Harris? Because I think
Come on, is that a mistake?
Huh?
Where was he going to play?
I think if he would have played quarterback for you guys would have been decent. I don't think he was that bad.
No, we made a mistake by running off Will Greer. Treon, he wasn't the answer.
No, Will Greer just couldn't stop. He couldn't get off steroids. Y'all ain't run him off. You know what I'm saying? Those injectables running him off.
No, he could have came back, but I guess McElwain was so hung up on Del Rio that he just told him to transfer. Okay, he would have been back this year. He was only 7 games.
Well, I thought he was suspended a whole year.
He was suspended a whole calendar year. Year. He would have came back this year.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, man. Man, thank you so much for coming, man. Any shout outs, any plugs, man, go ahead and do that.
Well, most definitely. Obviously, Naples Investment Properties, cash for houses. Always check out our website on Naples Investment Properties, LLC.com. If you know anybody who needs to sell a house fast, give us a holler. Also, we do finder's fees, $500 for anybody who lead us into a property and we close on the property. We'll shoot you a $500 check just as a finder's fee.
Yeah.
But that's about it. No shout. Big up to Brooklyn. That's about it.
Any plugs, man? Any events, man? You're not in an entertainment circle anymore, so you know.
I still dabble in that, but I'm more in the background now.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing now. I'm pretty sure over the next compound comes through, I'll give you a holler. Maybe you could do a sponsorship thing, and you could promote it on your podcast.
Absolutely. You already know.
Most definitely.
Hey,
shout out to the No Cupcake Zone.
You already know what it is, man. Sponsored by CJ Noel Insurance Services.
Okay, CJ. Okay, that's big homie.
Yeah, that's big homie right there, man. But man, this is a great conversation, man. Do you do any one-on-one business coaching or anything like that, man? How can people?
Oh
find
no, I don't
you,
do any business. I don't do business coaching, but I'm always free to. If you have any questions, I'm always helpful in leading somebody in the right direction if they want to get into the real estate game, whether it be starting off as a wholesaler or buy and hold. I'm always there if anybody just wants to talk.
Hey, man. Yeah. Before I let you go, man, because there's always this perception that people don't want to give game out. And I can see that you're a cat that's willing to share information like that. Is that generally the sentiment of most real estate investment people?
Oh no,
No?
because one thing about real estate investment is somebody that's your competition today might be a joint venture partner tomorrow. You know, so you don't really see too much competition because we're always venturing and doing joint venture deals or sending deals to them, and they might send a deal to me. You don't really see that going on too much in real estate, and educating people. You'll find that a lot in the real estate industry because if you get on top of your game, then that means that it might be beneficial to me in the future. Because let's just say I teach you to become a wholesaler. Well, if I teach you to become a wholesaler, you're going to have to send those properties to somebody. So hopefully you send them to me, and we both could profit. So you don't really see it too much in real estate. There's real estate investment associations. I'm part of two of them. That you go to a meeting and they'll give you free game all day.
Yeah.
So it's out there. There's also websites called biggerpockets.com. If anybody's interested, they'll teach you about real estate from the ground up, everything you need to know.
Right. So there's free game out there.
Free game. You just got to be willing and wanting to get it.
Okay. All right, man. There you have it, man. Thank you so much, Fed, for coming through, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no problem, man.
Hey, stay blessed, man. And you know what? I might, that finder's fee. Hey, I'm looking. Hey, Frankie needs some diapers, bro. So you know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised if I hook you up with a deal, okay?
Okay, most definitely, bro.
All right, man. You have a good night, man.
All right, bro.
All right.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
So much.
That was Fedner, man. Great information, man. I'm glad that I got him on the show, man. We had the real estate investment conversation, which is a important conversation, especially in this time. We need to buy back the block. We need to, build wealth. We need to have those type of quality conversation, man. But anyways, man, make sure you guys tune in to my show next week, man. I'm dropping hot fire. Anybody that wants to be on the show, man, holla at you, man. I'm looking for a credit person, man. Somebody that knows the ins and out of a credit. Not no, funky finger production, I'll fix your credit for a blunt type shit. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, man, holla at your boy, man. No Cupcake Zone, man. Holla at your boy.
Make sure to tune in next week for our all-new episode of the No Cupcake Zone podcast. Don't forget to go to NoCupcakeZone.com to subscribe to this podcast.
Have you ever asked yourself, what if something happens to me? How is my family protected? Will I be able to retire one day? Am I covered? Are my taxes filed correctly? These are all important questions that need to be answered. Visit the experts at CJ Noel Insurance Services for all your financial and insurance needs. Internationally known for their excellence, CJ Noel Insurance has proudly served the Naples area for over 20 years and is the #1 Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance provider in the Southwest Florida area. Conveniently located in Naples at 2800 Davis Boulevard, Suite 208. Stop by or call 239-403-8391 for an appointment or a quote.